What is it like to live under the authoritarian regime of Putin? What exactly does censorship look like in this environment? Have you ever had to uproot your whole life due to war? Today, we get to hear the story of Anna and Leo, two lovebirds who decided to escape to a small Sri Lankan village to finish a film actually sponsored by the Russian government themselves. They are true artists at heart and are two beautiful souls on an adventure of a lifetime dictated by crisis after crisis, one after the other. From the war of Ukraine, to the Sri Lankan government getting overthrown, to trying to move to Israel, foiled by the war in Gaza, and much, much more. Despite all this, they have not lost their way, and instead are forging ahead with their Hollywood ambitions of creating beautiful, independent films that truly express themselves in this world. Let's dive in and hear their story. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Dobro Pajolovich.
Wow.
How bad is that? Did I butcher it?
Yeah, good.
It's okay?
Okay.
Passable, understand?
Understandable.
Okay, so just to give a quick, it's okay if we start now, right?
Okay.
All right, I'll give a quick introduction and you guys help maybe embellish it, or if I say anything wrong, you correct me. We got Anna Kadyakova. Okay, Anna Kadakovia. Right, so you are a photographer by trade, originally, I guess, or?
It's all together.
Okay, and you do animation?
Yes.
1 second. Turn down. If it's is it okay for volume for you guys too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for us, okay.
It's okay?
For me.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and then you, like I said, you do animation. You've done feature-length animation films. I'm taking this from your LinkedIn, right? And you've worked with Leo here, which is primarily 2D animation from script to sound. What does script to sound mean?
It means from the very beginning, from the idea,
Writing the script?
towards
To-
the very end.
Okay.
So from the scratch to the
Okay.
ready film.
Okay, so interesting, from script to sound. So I guess like full production. Okay. You also do music videos? Have you done music videos before?
Commercial, not, I think.
Not commercial, but for
artists?
Yes.
Okay, great. Mostly from Russia, right? Okay. And then you also write scripts for animation and for non-animation and TV series.
together with Leo.
Yeah, okay, with Leo. Okay,
so
Leo.
we'll tell you about that later.
Yeah. And so you're originally from Russia. You left 2 years ago. You guys are currently living in a Sri Lankan village.
Well, we just left the village
Permanently?
to nowhere.
To nowhere.
To
Okay.
nowhere.
Okay, and then you've been in KL for the past 3 weeks or so,
Yes.
exploring around, enjoying city life a bit. I guess readjusting from village life to city life. Because you guys are originally from Moscow or living there.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I guess I think this is why we met, right? You're currently seeking funding for the next feature-length animated film and trying to sell other film scripts.
Yes.
So that's pretty accurate so far?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Anything to add to that? Anything to fix?
About me or
Yeah, you.
no? I think it's all maybe.
No, to be honest, we have only one feature film, and it's like just finished. We didn't do many of them. It's very difficult to do.
I guess, how would you characterize yourself then? You're like budding or aspiring film producer, directors, or creators, or writers?
All together.
Okay.
But we usually say like independent because
Independent,
it makes difference, because if you do commercial stuff and sometimes you do independent, we do actually both, but mostly the general idea to do independent stuff.
Yeah, and I think more of the commercial stuff is probably to feed yourselves, I'm guessing. Or is it also part of your career aspirations?
We just want to do more what we want to do,
Okay.
not the things that what the world wants to get.
Okay,
It's more about you want to say what you want to say.
more artistry, more expression.
Yeah. So this is most of the time it's independent because people want you to give the money and to make something they want to do.
Yes. Okay, so
So
now you're trying to develop your own ambitions. Okay, so for Leonid Shmelkov.
Yeah, that's
Yeah?
correct.
Good?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Not too
Nice.
bad. Yeah, a typical American butchering Russian names. I apologize for that. So you are also a scriptwriter, animated film artist, and director.
Yeah.
You said you made 10 independent short animated films.
around
there, which were selected for many international film festivals and awards. Anything a global audience would know about?
I've got once this Berlinale Prize, and it's like a big award. And we do this short animation. It's not so popular around the world, so I don't think that I have wide audience.
Okay.
But you can watch it online.
Yeah.
But I did some films in Russia, some films in France. I studied in Estonia, also animation, and did film there. So it's like international.
Okay. And so you worked as a curator for students at several film schools in Moscow?
Yeah,
you were like a professor.
Before this stuff.
Yeah, before. Okay, so, but I mean, it was always a kind of a side projects, passion. You were always developing your own films as well, or that was only after you were done teaching?
No. I started 10 years ago. So,
okay, yeah. So it's a long journey.
With the films, yes, but as a professor, I just maybe for 4 years.
You specialize in teaching, directing, and screenwriting. And then you wrote a feature film about complex stories, human relationships, and elements of fantasy.
You did this.
No. This is you did this. This is from
your LinkedIn. I did not write
This is how you categorize yourself.
Maybe I don't know.
I think it sounds.
It's okay.
Well, what's the contention? You feel this is too much putting you in a box, or?
No. I just have a good memory and then remember what I actually wrote. The text. And sometimes when I hear something that I didn't write.
Oh, but you wrote I copy and pasted directly from your LinkedIn. So this is all you.
Maybe it was some long time ago.
Yeah, time to update maybe. Right? And then also you guys moved out together 2022, same time, right? So I don't know. For the first topic, I mean, how much of the Russian experience can you actually comment on? Is there any constraints, or what are you concerned about?
What to say? We moved out because we don't want to hide anything or not talking about something we don't want to talk.
You don't want to be censored.
Yes. So,
but
we are okay to talk about anything, right?
Yeah, here we can talk about anything, but in Russia we can't.
Yeah, correct. So, but so of course, anything that we want to remove later, you could also tell me.
No, it's not a problem. That's the reason why we are here. We don't want to cut anything.
Okay, you don't want to cut anything.
We want to name things the way they should be. They are, and so that's the main idea why we are not in Russia.
But doesn't that mean you also it makes it much harder to go back to Russia as well?
Probably.
I
mean, it will be harder to go back to Russia with.
If you're talking too much.
Yes,
it was a big problem and a big contradiction between people who actually go out. Some wanted to be...
Yeah, they talk a lot.
And then many people don't want to talk, and it's understandable because they have their relatives.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and we as well. We have our mothers.
Yeah, exactly. So is that doesn't concern you as much, or you don't think you'll say anything too crazy?
We don't. We decided before that we won't avoid any words, and it's like our point.
We don't want to break ourselves.
You want to be. Yeah, you want to fully express yourself.
Yeah, it's a problem of your mind when you need to say something and don't say something, and when you understandable things that you don't say, it's okay. But when it's crazy things, it's like way to mental hospital.
Okay, yeah. You're trying to keep track of what you've censored, what you said before.
Yeah.
And then then you forget, then you slip up if you say something too truthful, and then you get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember last time when we first met, you were telling me you had troubles at the school you were teaching, right?
Yeah. I actually quit because they don't want lessons about war.
At any war, right?
Any war, yeah.
Yeah, even though it's just historical fact.
Yeah, you shouldn't say the word war.
At all?
No war anywhere.
So is it like, can you say things like conflict or not even?
They say conflict or SVO, it means special operation.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. No, I will say, okay, let's name table, not table, but Mike.
Yeah.
This is not cup, but Maggie.
Yeah. Correct,
This is not bottle of water, but
Yeah.
Mr. Something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. My friend was telling me he's publishing a book in China. And so it's an updated version of his book for the Chinese audience. So it's translated to Chinese. And then the censors there, also he references this book was written during the time of the Ukraine and Russian war, except that he said you can't actually say war. So he had to write in conflict instead. So this is the Chinese side.
Funny thing that I worked like previous year for some commercial stuff, and they say from Russia, and they say, "Oh, please don't put blue color near the yellow color."
Oh, really? Oh,
never,
yeah,
never.
yeah,
Please
yeah.
do it never. And you also should not, because Russia is now very homophobic, and you should not no rainbows anywhere. If even if it's randomly.
Really? If it's random.
No rainbows, no blue and yellow.
Yeah.
And I said, look, there are not so many colors.
You want black and white the whole way. Yeah.
And another interesting fact is that they forgot to add a female character. It was all about kittens, and all
Yeah.
of them were guys. So, but no female.
Okay. And that was a problem, or?
So,
Oh, I see. It's all male cats. I
no,
see.
they just forgot about it.
Yeah, you forgot about it, but then
So
that was a
they
problem.
thought about the Ukrainian colors that you should not use. They thought about no homophobic rainbows and something,
Yeah.
but they forgot about woman. Cat.
I see. Well, that's crazy. And then how does the actual apparatus work? So if you publish works, there's a whole government body, there's a lot of resources going into this, or is it like kind of random, or someone reports you?
It's random.
Okay.
So actually you don't have any problems, but if you work on some institutions, they will have this problem. So they
Okay.
try to
see.
avoid anything even like far away from
Yeah,
something.
so it's very strict. 'Cause,
Yeah, so it's more about self-censorship.
I see.
But actually some people went to jail, so but randomly, maybe like 500 people.
Yeah, but I guess that's enough to get people to self-censor, I guess. If it's kind of random, that's probably the most effective.
Yes, this was an idea, I think.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, you cannot be sure. So then
Yeah.
then all of a sudden everyone is like this.
But when people see that somebody go to jail because of the like in Facebook,
really?
not comment, not
Just a
post,
like.
just like.
Not post or repost, just
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Maybe not to
comment.
jail, but still some sanctions.
Still, you can
And
have some
of
problem.
course, all people around they like feel this like, oh no.
That's crazy. Okay. How would you describe your experience with this feeling? It's a need, I guess, right? You feel there's a need to leave Russia. And how would you describe that kind of whole process, the experience? Because you're experiencing this in Russia. Then you're thinking you don't even know where to go. Somehow you end up in a Sri Lankan village. And then I think this is an interesting conversation because I meet many Russians now. Some in KL, some in Bangkok, some in Singapore. I think it's probably by and large because of the conflict of Ukraine, the war of Ukraine, right? And so I'm kind of curious we're seeing this kind of exodus. And I guess, I don't know if your friends and family are kind of going through this as well. So I'm kind of curious, how do you guys think about this experience in general, broadly speaking?
Broadly speaking, it's a huge crisis, divided people into groups who left, who stayed,
yeah.
and we still don't know where it's gonna go. Some people chose where to go directly. Yeah. A lot of people went to places they chose. Some people just stayed. Yeah. Some people are still thinking, shall I leave or shall I stay? But our situation is a bit different from all that.
Okay. Yeah. Why is that?
Because it was not our intentional idea to go to Sri Lanka. We just have had our holidays there, and then the war started, and we just felt that we don't want to go back. And we were filming our feature, and I called to my workers and said, if you want to continue to work together, you can come.
To Sri Lanka.
Yeah, to Sri Lanka.
Call to Sri Lanka.
Because it was easier than, for example, if you go to Europe, it's expensive and lots of documents, and I can't get my students, like very poor people, but you can do it in Sri Lanka. And we worked for 1 year together with some people and finished up this film. And now we are like wandering around. Many of our friends who go out of Russia, they already settled down, some in Israel, some in Europe, some in America. But we're still wondering about
where you guys are going to.
The idea was to finish the film and then rest a few months, like 2-3 months, and then decide, okay, what's next?
And you're right in the middle of that transition. It's probably been close to a few months now.
Our idea was to find work or project before we go somewhere. Because we are doing films, and there are not so many countries in the world that will need your film. And
ready to support.
I just counted around 5 countries that actually have a big independent film industry.
Okay, what are they?
Like France, United States of America, Britain, and Germany. All other countries, like there are no big chances that you can get funding there.
But these are all very different audiences too, though.
Yeah, that's why and for us was a challenge that actually I started to be script writer this year after all this.
About a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago, and I started. It was double difficult because I started to write it in Russian and Anna translated into English, and it was for the first time because I'm Russian speaking. I'm not so good, not so fluent in English. Yeah. But it was like, and I tried to write the scripts global, not about Russia.
Global,
and first of all, I like Googled good, like American female names, American names, and
interesting.
I get this list, and okay, I like this one. I like Lucy. I like Mike. And I tried to do like some, how do you say skiffy? No, sci-fi. I always forgot.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Oh, sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Again. We had the same discussion.
we both make mistakes with that one.
Sci-fi. Nice.
Sci-fi.
Maybe now.
Yeah, you guys love sci-fi. I remember. Okay.
But it's not that sci-fi that you used to.
Not like outer space kind of aliens
not
kind
that,
of thing.
It's more like
there's many kinds, like the latest Apple TV, the Silo, right? That's also sci-fi in a sense.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know, but
I don't know Silo.
We need to check it out.
Yeah. Okay, so and the project that caused you to leave Russia, so it sounds like it was more you want to be remote nomad workers. That's more of the impetus, right?
We didn't plan to be.
Yeah, we didn't plan because actually we have had a big studio in Moscow, very nice. It's like 100 meters.
Wow.
So
140
square meters.
140 square meters.
With table tennis, and
it's very big.
And she built it on her own. I mean, she was a designer, and it was very nice, like your studio.
No, mine's small and very.
With shooting space.
Shooting.
With working space.
Yeah.
With extra, how does it say?
With a nice coffee in the garden.
Okay. A great space for creating art.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good place, and so we didn't have any intention to go out. But I was thinking that when I finish the film, I want to go in Asia because it was a challenge for me every winter in Moscow.
I'm sure the heat here is also equally challenging.
Yeah.
If you stay for a long time, yes.
It's challenging, yeah.
You have to adapt. I still haven't adapted. I don't think I'll ever adapt. Everywhere I go, I sweat. So it's
it was better first year, but second year and third year, it's like more difficult. I don't know why.
Yeah, and sorry. So you did not really plan to leave, and then this film you were working on, it was a personal project, or it was already
It was funded by the government, by the state.
So this is funded by the government.
Yeah.
By Russian government.
Okay, so then lots of censorship and.
No, we didn't have any censorship.
Okay.
Actually, because it was my intention, and I did everything like this that we didn't have. But we have another problem that now we finished it and nobody
In Russia.
and it's like on the shelf.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it.
Because the rights belong to Russian
Not for the
studio.
creators.
Okay.
Yes, not
Okay.
to us, and it's a
Okay.
problem because we cannot sell it anywhere,
Okay.
and there is no sense to send it. There is no sense to send it to festivals because nobody can buy it. So
I see.
which
You
is-
can't commercialize it easily.
we can do nothing.
But because the
about that.
studio doesn't want it, the one who owns the rights.
They can't. Nobody can buy it. Though we even found people who wanted to buy it, who wanted to to make
Okay.
a co-production, but it turned out that we can't do anything until it's
It's more
Owned by
financial
Russia.
stuff because sanctions and nobody
no one wants to
it's-
touch it.
Some people,
I see.
producers, they said, okay, I want to buy, but they can't buy from Russia.
So you're talking to international producers.
Yeah,
Yes.
we talked and we had one very good producer said,
Yeah.
okay, I want to buy this film, but I can't.
So, for example, even if you want to release it into the wild, like YouTube or what's the professional one? Is it where you upload videos?
Vimeo.
Vimeo,
Yeah.
right? You cannot.
Because we are not the right holders. We are
we will
just
probably have problems.
Yeah, but you talk
It's-
to them; they don't even want to do that.
they don't even want to talk.
It's really complicated
That
now
sounds very
because
complex.
they also have a lot of problems now being inside Russia. So for them, it's also
So we
a
can
big
blame
question.
some people because they also have some danger.
In danger.
In danger, yeah.
Okay, and actually, interestingly, so the war that Russia's engaged with, or conflict, whoever you're talking to, it's affecting art in general, or like it sounds like it's stopping all life, right? And it's
It affects a lot.
yeah.
I want to add something about because I talked with many Europeans or like Western people about how they perceive all the situation, and many people don't understand one thing that many of the sanctions that we have,
Yeah.
they was not so hard for the government of Russia and for people who are inside Russia, but they were very difficult for people who want to go out.
Okay.
And for example, we don't have our cards. We
Yeah.
don't have possibility to have cards in many countries.
Bank cards.
Bank cards, credit cards, debit cards. Okay.
We have many problems with visas, and my pain is that, for example, my kids live now in Estonia,
Okay. Okay. So you're living
and
separated from your kids
and I can't get visa
to Estonia.
to Estonia because
It's crazy.
it's crazy because it's my kids. It's
Yeah.
one family.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
European country.
Yeah.
But they refuse to give me visa because I'm Russian.
So, but your kids got there before a lot of this happened.
I lived in Estonia for many years.
Okay.
Then I left, and my kids living there for 8 years.
Okay, so
and
they were there.
And they don't give me visa because I'm Russian.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's Europe. You
Yeah.
know, no, like Europe is all about human rights.
Supposedly.
Supposed to be.
We
Yeah.
thought so.
But-
You hear that,
No.
Europe?
Actually, Estonia is a very good country, but this side
Yeah.
is like very strange. It's like not about. It was surprising for me.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting for the European perspective because it's way more existential. I mean, for an American perspective, you're across the ocean. You only care about your own world. Right? Nothing's ever affected ever in America. Right? It's just everything's about America. So then, but it does seem that like if you are on the borders of the states, it matters a lot. Like I think I hear that people are actually way more scared, even like in Germany, of a possibility of being drafted is real.
Yeah,
Right,
of
so-
course, but actually, if they are so scared, it's better not to buy oil.
Everyone needs oil, though, unfortunately.
I stopped using electricity
No.
and all
it's-
that
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, I understand completely, and have many friends, and they like said me, okay, we don't want Russians here, and la la la, and it's understandable, and I can understand this. But in the world, usually everything works like this: that you want something one thing and you do another thing, and they're not like
Not connected.
not connected anyhow.
It sounds very Western. It's virtue signaling, right? You want to just say the right things, but then you just keep living your
So
life. However,
I want to drink, that's why I'm jumping.
yeah, correct. Okay. So, and do you have any unique insights, or maybe like you've been talking to a lot of people about the war then? Is there anything that people should know about from your perspective that maybe is not talked about?
Not talked about.
Or maybe not understood or misunderstood or not
About the
intuitive?
situation inside?
I think the first thing is that a lot of people didn't understand why people in Russia didn't do anything. Like something, the war started and people are not going outside screaming or something
like almost like
that.
the Korean government recently?
Yeah. My Estonian friends blamed me, like, why you are not like struggling, fighting? Yeah, why? I said, okay, I'm alone, but we have like 5 million of Polish people, especially working to
find people
inside.
Yeah, like spies.
Yeah. And if you learn history of the world, you will understand that you can fight your government if you have already democracy inside your country. If you don't have, look at Germany, look at many other countries, people can't, at Belarus, the same situation.
It's not so simple.
Not so simple.
Not so straightforward.
Yeah.
In Belarus, a lot of people went out to streets.
Lots of people.
200,000, wow.
One day, many days in a row. And
But then police forces came and just
Shut it down.
And many, how do you say, lives broken because of this, and many exiled people in Europe, and nobody wants them.
I mean, the question that people have to ask themselves, like, are you willing to die for that? And then most people are not, like, realistically.
But who wants to die?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's very easy to criticize people, but like, are you willing to throw your life on the line?
Will you go and die knowing that probably it won't change anything?
Yeah.
Especially if you're not into this country system. I don't really like this.
You need a lot of strong national faith and belief, like national pride.
Yes, which I think really is out of date. The national pride.
It's only probably since World War II. That was it, right? And then after that, no one really has this kind of in their country. I mean, like maybe culturally. But like
the culture is different. I mean, normally it's about state. It's about some kind of rules because country is just a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
Besides culture, of course. Yeah. So culture is culture. Yes, I respect culture, but all the rest is just a number of rules. And if you don't like it, you don't want to die for that.
Yeah. Okay.
No, there are many things you're gonna die for, but it's not government.
That's a good question. What would you guys be willing to die for then?
For love, for anger.
For my so sweet. For your children. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
For art also.
For art, wow.
Yeah, but not for like struggling against Putin. Stupid stuff.
That's not worth it.
And it's like if I studied history for 1 year before all this art stuff, and when you read books about like 1,000 years, and you have this like, it was a crazy guy from 17 something to 17 something.
Yeah.
And every time when I see some news about, some crazy stuff happened today, and some people died, and nobody will remember it. It just somebody died because they wanted something like to say or some. It's like so painful that people like nothing.
Well, I think that's tied to the modern technology and the speed of information. So
that's right.
I think it's always happened, probably, and so which is more interesting because for the stories that are legendary from the past, what was that thread that connected it to make it become legendary? Like, what was the zeitgeist, the belief, the systems behind it? Because it always happens. It's always tragic, but we just see it more. We get desensitized more. And it's a question like there was like that girl who recently in Iran, was it the halal police or whatever, the police, morality police. They said she was not wearing this head covering, and then so she got dressed in her underwear walking around, right? And so apparently they released her, right? But like if there was no social media coverage, right, what would have happened to her? Maybe another casualty where we just see and forget.
Yeah. It's a bit different topic about all this informational world, and I agree it happens these days differently.
It's different. Yeah.
All big news are big for a moment, and then it's all lost. Because other things happening, or because they the media can change your attitude to something because they can switch the attention from one big thing to another big thing.
Sometimes to some local things that
And this is your understanding of the Western world in general, probably, right? And so then, say within Russia, is it the same thing?
In Russia, I think no, it's a bit differently because in Western world, politics are connected to people, and you have this.
People can affect,
and it's like connection that when some public person says something, he's thinking about people in the country. But in Russia, when public person says something, he only thinks about Putin. About not the people under him, but the people above him.
I see.
So it's a bit different, and it's a mistake that many Western people do, that they think, okay, Putin says something because he wants to say it to his people. But it's not true.
And some other guys are also saying something and not getting into prison because Putin is okay with them to say that he wanted.
If you go out of politics, people just don't want to say anything. They do not affect what's going on, and they just try to live their own lives and not to be imprisoned, not to be...
I mean, I feel this is the average human experience.
Not to get in trouble, that's the main idea.
Which is why, like, I think maybe some Western people would struggle, like, with understanding also China even. They don't, I mean, like, it doesn't matter for your average life. You know, more or less, I don't know, 80-90% of the things you want to do in life, your aspirations, your dreams, can be achieved, regardless of the macro, the government, whatever. So it doesn't really matter, right? For the most people. I guess it's a problem and I've always thought about this a lot. It's where maybe somewhere like US works is that at least the minority have a potential voice to getting grievances heard. But other countries, if you're minority, sorry, it's better to be part of the majority, right? So it's unfortunate, I guess, for if you're in that kind of situation.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
I mean, you guys are living that experience. So let's move on and talk about maybe more of your career and business aspirations, right? So you had a funded film. You guys left Russia. Unfortunately, coincided with the conflict, making life a lot much harder, right? And I think when we last met and talked, you have more film aspirations. You also have business aspirations, building apps. You have a lot of goals. Right?
We still have all those goals.
Yeah. But I guess we have to pick and choose our priorities and this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah,
it's impossible in film business. You have to do many, many, many things because you never know what will be filmed.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been thinking about this a lot, and how I create content too is like I'm in a very experimental phase because my subscriber base on my main platform, YouTube, still very small, but slowly growing. So I could plant a lot of small seeds. I could experiment with different things. But of course, when the audience picks up on something that they like, I try to narrow down and focus and try to grow that over time then. So I guess it's almost kind of where you are with maybe filmmaking, creating scripts.
No, we're trying to go far from expectations, but to find our field. But we do different projects because I like and Anna likes we like to create, and we do one stuff. Okay, this stuff is waiting for a producer or some producer we have already, but you need time to go to development. So, you have time, you can do another stuff.
You can sit and wait, or you can develop something
because
else.
I see. So that's why you guys do a lot of different things, because there's a life cycle to it, and sometimes it slows down or gets stuck.
Yeah, and for example, in Europe, if you want to get funding for the film, it's always long. You can't do like
it's
tomorrow.
2 years minimum. So you wait.
But then, for example, like philosophically, you could also just only focus on solving that problem, or is it impossible because the bureaucracy, no matter what you do, no matter what effort you do, you can't probably overcome it?
You mean choosing one?
Yes. So you chose one thing, say like in Berlin, and the 2 years takes funding. Why not just someone flies to Berlin and then makes a huge network, tries to talk your way in, instead of pause, let's do another project?
We just chose it's a choice. So we made a choice.
It's our choice. It's maybe, it's not every choice. Yeah,
not common.
We're a little bit out of the row, I think. And we decided, no, maybe, some people do like this in Berlin, but we will try to do it differently. And we will try how we can get the people internet, like
online,
direct to consumer.
Directly. Yeah, and we actually did find some very good people. Few, not much. Yeah,
that want to work with you directly,
already,
or distribute more, or what are we talking about?
It's all, how's it, foggy now?
Okay.
Still nothing signed. Nothing is.
Okay, need to connect the pieces.
Yes, but it's slowly moving.
Okay.
And maybe we will see, because we are really in the middle of this journey. So we made a choice not to go directly to the European country, or when we did not go somewhere exactly, and didn't do like others. We
like
settled down. We settled down here. We go to all the festivals. We go and meet everybody we can meet in this country. Then go to another country. We just sat in a Sri Lankan village, developing lots of absolutely different things.
Okay. With a decent Wi-Fi.
With a decent Wi-Fi, with constant power cuts. It was crazy. This time was crazy. If you want, we can tell you separately.
But they say blackout.
Blackouts.
They
same
say
thing.
Power cuts.
In Sri Lanka, we call it power cuts.
Petrol crisis, the government change, also the revolution inside. So we were
crazy time.
Crazy time. So we sat there developing lots of different things, and then we started sending letters to, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of people.
Yeah.
That was the idea. So, let's just try. Let's think what we can do.
It sounds similar to me. Like you're trying different things.
The trick is why we decided that, because if we went to some exact country, we had to deal with lots of documents, with these problems,
it's a lot more stress.
Looking for apartments. So we would spend all this time trying to set, and resources, sure. So we just...
And another stuff, that every country has its own atmosphere and vibe, and what is already said about this, that... Influence, some kind of influence. So I worked, for example, in France for some time, and after some time you feel what they need in this country, what people need, what kind of art you can do here. And that's why I said, maybe we can stay for a while nowhere to try to find our own way. And
what we want
to try to sell it.
Without the constraints.
Yes.
Without influences.
I think everything you're saying makes sense. Like, I think the key insight here is sustainability, right? The way you are doing it allows you to keep doing this for the long run. Say if you did move to a Western country, high cost of living, you have a very short time period, high stress to figure it out and really make it work, which might force the art in a certain way, might have a positive income, don't know. But at the same time, might also blow up, and then you have a less chance of sustainability, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And I also can do some commercial stuff, and I do and did a lot. But when you're trying to imagine you go to some Germany, and you need to find some job there, and of course they won't propose you something about your art. So if you want to follow your dream, it's better to be in our nowhere. How to say?
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, yeah.
And to try to elaborate it, and
Yeah.
then you go to the
Yeah.
world.
Already with this.
Because I felt this with
what
my
you-
students, for example, when you teach students, they you have influence on them, and
Yeah.
you see how they're changing because of you.
Mm.
Then they go to some festival stuff and they see some films, and they're changing because of these films.
Mm.
Then they can go to other school, for example, in Europe, and I mean about animation, and I see how the picture is changing visually because they are in a different world.
Yeah.
So people sometimes want to believe that they are so independent in their brain, in their mind, but it's not true. And even I can feel myself that my mind is not like free of everybody, and so
I see. Yeah.
So
the world and people around you affect
Okay.
the way you think, the way
Yeah.
you really want
Yeah.
to believe that
Yeah.
it's your thoughts, but
Yeah.
actually it's not. It's not somebody's fault. It's just the way the brain of a human being works.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
that's it.
my idea was, okay, if I can't avoid the influence, I can choose the context that I want to go inside.
Okay. Interesting.
But for this, I need time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting thought about the creative process. I actually was listening to something similar about this topic this morning when I was working out, and the idea was that yes, there will always be influence, but it's more like it's not something that's gonna always. I think it's understanding yourself is really important in this kind of context, because when you can feel the influence, at least you have something to kind of gauge it against, to know like, how do I use this influence, or how does it actually affect me, and how does it affect my outcome? Because it's impossible you're 100% yourself in a sense, right?
Yes,
right.
it's true.
It's a growing, moving
It's
target.
Too arrogant to think.
Yeah,
like
correct.
this.
Yeah, so I mean, in a sense, I kind of agree. When you remove distraction and you're in the middle of nowhere, it helps still the mind a bit, so you could at least have some clarity. And later, it's like more of a good way to benchmark when you are moving into more chaos, what that kind of looks like and what you want to create.
You need to have something in your bag.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Especially when the world is in crisis. I mean, our world is in crisis because
You have some different road to go.
no,
In the mind.
only that end of the world where we came from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when everything that's happening around is very bright, it affects you more. So in normal
Positivity.
yeah, before, like maybe 5 years ago, if we moved somewhere, it would be just moving somewhere. But now it's all like the world is crying around you, so you cannot block yourself. It's too loud. So I mean, a lot of our friends who went somewhere, we talk to them and we hear how the situation inside that country influence the way they talk, the way they the things they worry about are closer to that space. And in other countries, it's some other questions they talk about more. So that's the.
I mean, I can't even imagine what that looks like for a remote Sri Lankan village. I don't know. It must be quiet and peaceful. Like, no, do you leave all that baggage behind? The worries, the chaos, the it feels like the end of the world.
It took some time.
It took some time, but nature helps a lot because in our village, and surfing, of course.
Surfing,
surfing.
Nice. Yeah, I think Sri Lanka is really good for surfing.
Yeah.
I hear
If you
that.
have good waves and you have this surfing almost every day, it makes your brain so cooled down. Yeah.
Well, because you're physically working out like
Yeah,
nonstop.
it
It's
works.
such a good workout.
Yeah, and also animals because you have many langurs, dogs, and elephants around, and crocodiles.
Nature's very important.
Crocodiles.
Yeah.
Wild elephants walking
Yeah.
around the rice fields.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
paddy fields.
we have many wild nature there, and it helps because when you look at people in the city, you always have this agenda of people in the city, but when you have at the same time people and some elephants, and you say, okay,
Let's look at the elephants more.
not, but you have a wide range of possibilities. Yeah, I can't be elephant, but I can say, okay, he have a reason. He has a reason.
Yeah.
There is a reason to stay in this world.
No, in different approach to the world. And they're like
Different inspiration.
Yeah, I can
Different context.
long a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think the important insight there is that one thing I realized last year was how important the contrast in your life is. Right? You need very hard and you need like very luxury, and then somewhere in between you could find the balance, right? And you need to experience both, right? And then I guess what you're talking about is having more context to that is very important, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to, how to say, buy less.
less consumption.
Oh, you really don't
Yeah,
need.
it's a popular idea. Less consumption in Sri Lanka.
And you're happier?
You don't need to buy anything. You don't have this opportunity to buy anything.
Yeah, you just need one pair of shorts, one
Slippers,
t-shirt,
And good Wi-Fi.
t-shirt. The Wi-Fi is a big problem.
And electricity.
yes, right.
electricity for air
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
plumbing, of course.
No AC, no brain.
Yeah.
Only surfing.
But now I think you're entering a new phase in your chapter of your journey, and you are transitioning possibly to Southeast Asia, it seems.
We don't know.
We don't know about.
But you have, okay, let's put it this way. You've had the most experience from this transition within Southeast Asia. Or have you done like another month somewhere else?
We're going to Thailand next.
In Southeast Asia.
Yes.
Yeah, and we want to go to mountains.
Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai.
Yeah.
Very nice. Cooler weather. You will appreciate that better.
28 degrees.
Especially at this time will be very, very nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Right choice. But we were not sure about South Asia.
Southeast Asia, yeah.
Yeah, Southeast Asia, because just these visa problems.
Still.
Not so easy for us. Yes, we can be for a short time, and also we need to go west because it's all personal because of the kids.
We managed to make this residence visa in Sri Lanka, so we could stay there long time, and making some things we need to make, going to embassy, because when you have the residence visa, you can change a travel passport, you can make visas to other countries and do some other stuff that you probably need. But if you are just a nomad traveling from here and there, you can't be sure that you can make those things.
That's tough.
But now they stopped prolongating the Sri Lankan visas, and we had to go out anyway. It was about time to go out, but it was also time.
So now it's not as easy to return to Sri Lanka.
No, it's easy, but we can go back as tourists and prolongate the touristic visa, then go out and go back. It's easy, but it was time to go anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and we decided to travel a little bit and think now maybe it's time to go and settle somewhere, but we don't know where. Yeah. And it's challenging thing. What other language to learn?
Yeah, I mean, because right now you speak English, Russian, anything else?
Je parle français un petit peu.
Okay. You're in France.
Yeah, but no, I'm not speaking French. But
I understand a bit of German.
But I can read French. You speak a little bit of Hebrew.
Okay. Yes, I think you mentioned this last time. You said Israel might be also an option, right?
Yeah, for me, because I half Jewish and I can go, but
but the
it's
situation
not the best.
It's not the best time to go.
The best time to go.
Really bad timing for you guys for having two conflicts that really affect your lives. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's better to have Australian roots.
No, they have these huge toads, conquering the country. So
venomous.
Venomous toads.
Venomous.
Everything in Australia is like that, so it's very normal. Yeah. So then, how do you think about? Yeah, I mean that sounds crazy because you have your family still in Estonia. Your family also
in Russia.
In Russia, yeah. So then,
and my mother also in Russia.
Then you have a thing about your career. You have big ambitions.
Yeah.
But you have very limited options. So what? Like, say the top 3 feasible options. What would they be for you right now?
The best and our best belief, how to say?
Top.
Number one.
Number one, I've wrote. Yes.
I would say.
We've wrote. Better say. I would say what?
I would say me.
Yeah, about our scripts.
Top. Number one is scripts, writing scripts, and going to
Okay,
US.
so the best, so US.
Yes,
That's the
USA.
ideal.
Just
Okay.
because their market is more, not more developed, but it's more about making things, not
Okay.
about slowly. Let's get the funding, and
I see
then
what you
in
mean.
3 years
Yeah.
maybe we shoot
Yeah.
it, maybe not. They're just strict. Okay, I like it. Let's shoot it.
Yeah, I think I can't speak. I haven't lived in LA or know it that well, but the general guess of my people's culture would be that if you spend enough time and were very persistent, people will give you the time if they like the idea. Like they will at least give you 15 minutes.
That's right.
And if you can sell it in 15 minutes, there's like the path to resistance not as crazy. At least they get you to the next level faster. Like it's all about like, what can we do?
No, it's really happening. So if you're lucky, if it starts, it's probably gonna happen. Probably even this year, not 10 years after.
Before you're going old.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna happen this year or never.
Yeah.
But still, it's quite fast.
So relative to the world, even though LA, apparently the industry is going through like
crazy crisis.
crisis as well.
We know.
Your life is just crisis after crisis.
Yes.
Yeah. But we still have good.
But still, it's better than whatever you're seeing anywhere else.
Yes, actually, yes. We are not like, wow, America is a dream.
Yeah. You guys are realistic about it.
Yeah, we are realistic, but we just
there.
understand, okay, what we have. We have the scripts, we want to shoot film, maybe somebody else shot our film after our script, and we have people that are interested, and okay, where it's possible in America. It's like rational, maybe.
Okay, so America's the top choice. It's interesting, and it's very led by your career aspirations. Right, and then I guess by right, if you're saying that if you can solve America, then you could bring your family over. I guess that's how you're thinking about it. Okay,
that's right. And we speak a little bit of English, right?
Oh, you're English. You're doing a whole podcast in English. I could never do this in
Russian. Oh,
Russian.
really? Wow.
Yeah, cool. Yes, it's easier for us because
when you learn the language from
German.
zero, it's
Or
even if it's a little bit, if you know a bit, but still it will take a few years before you can at least speak. But with English, it's a bit
English.
less
You're
complicated.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I'm not good in English, but I studied in English in Estonia, so it's like I can read, understand, and
I think English.
I think you could survive in America. I think you guys would do fine.
At least for some time.
yeah. Okay, then. Why don't you guys just read? Can you redo the film you already made in some way with some adjustments and get away with it?
No. Sorry.
It's okay.
Redo Restlessness.
It was an idea, but still, it's so.
Because realistically, let's talk about what was the worst thing that could happen.
With the film?
No, like with you personally, if you did that, say if you copied.
Maybe.
But no, I meant not redoing, but maybe just finish some things.
I mean, then just different name, maybe different characters.
And then let's name things the way they are. Like steal it.
But but I'm optimistic. From one point of view, our film is too arty, so it's not going to have very good commercial history.
But at least you could sell it.
It's probably
at least we can show it.
I think the best option of that film was, and the idea was to send it to festivals, so because it can go well with big European festivals, because it's like a really festival film. It's not commercial, very well selling thing, but it's really artistic. So it's probably it might have. Maybe it will have if we steal it.
It depends.
But you guys want to go to America, so you have to learn the language. It's not stealing; you're adapting it, right? So you have to see the way you.
But we are not talking like fluently. Me, I'm better.
She's being very honest. She's a good person. We can tell Anna's a very good person.
Yeah. But we wrote scripts, and people can't understand that it was translated from Russian. So
Well, I don't know the film industry that well. Maybe you guys tell me. There has to be something that really resonates with a wide audience from a commercial perspective. It has to be something unique. And so I would imagine if the core is there, you just get some best translator in America from Russian, then you can make it even better. But I'm assuming there's just something in the crux of your script that has to be good enough that someone has to see potential in.
The trick is that Leo writes some unique stuff.
Okay.
So it's not a common language. So even with the film that is that we're gonna adapt soon, probably. So it has this unique dialogue. That's also his script.
Okay.
So and I made the subtitles in English, trying to show it to some producers from outside Russia, but it's really hard to translate. So some things are very hard to explain. How
is it? Because it's the context from a Russian perspective? Or
because it's language.
It's language, yeah.
It's when you live.
Not about the context. Yeah,
yes,
it's more about intonations.
I don't know, some jokes, some things are untranslatable, and you lose things translating it. So, but the main idea by saying that it's this language is unique. So when you say a spaceship is going to land down on that planet of that, it's easy. Yeah. But when you use some big thoughts and ideas, and it's really mystic, it's deep, it's really hard to translate.
Wakey, eggs and bakey. Like this.
Yes, some things like that.
Yeah. How would you translate that to Russian?
Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying here is this language sometimes is very interesting and unusual. And
his personal artistic expression of himself.
Yes, and it can also be inside the text. So when you read the script, you have this short version of the story. It's called Treatment. Yeah. It's 2-3 pages of the story. Yeah. And it's, okay, this story is, it may be interesting, but I know when I read the script, I will find this unique language inside. And this is the main thing. So we believe that if we manage...
That's why I like all these expressions, to learn like American and British expressions, not just words, but how do they say some things in a urban dictionary.
Yes, so we believe that above this short version of the story, I mean the basic,
conception,
skeleton. It's a skeleton, and there is also a lot of flesh above. So this language is this skeleton. It's personality. Yeah. It's when you see the skeleton, you don't know, is that woman going to be beautiful or ugly? Is it going to be fat or whatever? You don't know. Yeah. But when you see the real whole together, the form, this is the language, and it's all inside the script. Yeah. I mean, the words.
Yeah.
Is the flesh.
I guess the challenging part is that even if you, I mean, the best thing to do would be to move to America and understand America, if that's your audience, or America adjacent global audience, something like this, and understand that world and their language very deeply, and then you can kind of bridge the worlds. But I guess short of that takes a lot of time and experience, and having very interesting experiences, so that you can see the connection and know how that would translate, or how you would fit a different puzzle piece to make it more accessible. And I guess that's, I guess sort of that you have to find another Russian who lived in both the worlds that can do this, maybe to speed up the process, maybe, I guess.
Well, so far we watch a lot of YouTubes and TV shows in English, and it's really, it really helps.
Yeah, TV shows and YouTube.
Because you can see the life right now, and you have it all on your computer. You're just like, let's go for a walk in Brooklyn, and we go for a walk.
So we try to learn English in our creational way. We like watching films, YouTube. I have many pen friends, you know, pen friends. You just writing letters to some people, Australia, South Africa, Britain. I see. And also sometimes we, like an idiots, talk to each other in English.
Just to practice.
Just practice, okay.
Yeah, because it's speaking our worst thing. I think my worst thing is speaking. I can write, but I. I need this practice, and Anga, let's talk to each other in English. Oh yes,
and it works.
And it works, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing it now, so. What's Yeah, go ahead.
And we also started to make short YouTube videos in
Perfect.
English.
There you go.
Also,
And
that's
also the main
best.
reason for me to speak English.
Okay, perfect.
Because when you speak and when you hear it later, and then it really helps.
Yeah, you could see if it's natural, not natural, or what you meant to say.
Because you can watch another videos and you can hear the common language. It helps a lot.
What's the most interesting, or what's the most fascinating thing that you've recently learned from an English idiom expression?
To keep the balls in the air.
To keep the balls in the air.
Keep the balls in the air?
It means when you do several things at the same time, they have this expression to keep the balls. It's like when you juggle. Yes, and you need to keep several balls in the air.
Okay.
And keep it in mind.
Different projects at the same time.
Okay.
And also I like this juice worth squeezing.
The juice worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
Where have you heard these?
From some TV show, but it's actually we call it Missourian because it's they were speaking in with the Missourian
it's
accent.
From TV show, how to say, from the guy who went to Missouri to wash money.
Ozark.
Yes,
Ozarks.
exactly.
Okay.
I suppose it's.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's keeping balls in it, but juggling many things at once, right?
Yeah,
maybe juggling. Yeah,
but still, some British people don't understand American expressions, and Americans don't understand English expressions. So
you got to learn them all apparently. Australian, Canadian.
The funny thing that I had some script, and in Sri Lanka we live in a house that owned by our friend Adam. Mm-hmm. He's from like British region.
In the UK somewhere.
Like Cockney style person.
It's a very hardcore accent.
Yeah. I can hardly understand him, especially when he's drunk.
Sorry, Adam.
Yes, and we asked him, "Can you help us to edit our dialogues in the script?"
It'd be very different to get a Cockney
yes,
to do it.
and
so it will be a bit more British than Russian.
A bit more British, and we for several days we changed one bad word to another bad word, swearing a lot.
Yeah,
I can imagine that.
No, it will be much better British if you say fucking nope.
Don't say.
You can cut it.
That's okay. That's fine. It's a podcast. It's fine. We're open. We're not censoring, right?
A good person is allowed to swearing.
Yeah. And my Australian pen friend helps me with this swearing sometimes.
Okay. They have very unique ways of swearing, I guess. Different from an American. I mean, we share all the same swear words, but how they use is very different. So
it's differently. Yeah.
They have this word Muppet.
Muppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they use it for like you're idiot or Muppet.
Yeah,
so
it's being Muppet. Yeah. Okay.
United States also use it.
We would understand the context, but like we wouldn't be as common to say he's a Muppet. Yeah.
Because Adam said it's really common in Britain, so to call somebody
and
you Muppet.
I've heard it in a TV show about the guy who trained the team, Ted Lasso.
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Yeah, they said Muppet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably in the UK. Yeah. This is a UK context. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So it's our life. We like these expressions.
Yeah. And so currently, then, what is your most ambitious project? What's your critical path? What are we driving for first? I know we have a long list of things we want to accomplish, but what's number one, and what are we going to drive for 80% of our time?
We already did write a wonderful script, and we
for
have
a movie film.
Yes,
TV?
it's movie film.
Movie, okay.
Movie, and we are just waiting because our friend said, "Okay, we will shoot it," and we just.
Let's show it.
Hanging up.
It's like let's show it to producers, and now it's signing. Probably.
Someone's gonna.
Yeah, but we do.
But it sounds, you're sitting in a village and somebody from state says, "Okay, we will sign something," and nobody signed with me anything, and yet. So
did you guys copyright it?
No.
You should probably register it. Right?
No. We will write 10 more. No.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how that world works. Because it's very easy to. There's two bodies you could submit it to for protection. I forget the two bodies exactly, but then one is cheaper than the other, and then one is like with the union or something. And so
But
In general, I think isn't that best practice though? Like,
We just maybe, hopefully, we were lucky to find a really
A nice person?
great person.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
hopefully, it's risky, right?
yeah, it's risky, but
Well,
I-
if they steal the script, it's probably gonna be a great, big, huge, bright story for us. We can use that.
Yeah. Bad controversy. Is
Besides
still
money, yeah,
is-
money
Besides the
yeah,
money, but the main thing is, if it really happens and if the film is
interesting.
filmed, you have you are a person with a script
Yeah.
that was filmed. That's
Well,
it.
I guess the other thing to say is that the reason why you want to register is to be able to claim that. So even if they just steal it and you can't even fight it in court, whatever, but the fact that you registered with an institution that's trusted proves that you did right before they steal it, right? Because right now they could just say you're lying, and you could have written afterwards.
but we have our mail.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean it's not as strong, but
Proof.
like you have your dates, your timestamps, whatever. I
Yeah.
guess. So,
Google knows everything.
Yeah, it's possible too. I guess.
I hope that we will be lucky and we
But
won't
I
have that.
believe that I can understand how the people who they are. So
Yeah, you have to be. I
I'm
guess
over 40 that I can
You're-
distinguish people.
a good judge of character, hopefully. I don't know, man. Different world, different people.
Yeah.
Some people are good at sales, right?
Of
So-
course, but last 10 years I don't have any problems like this. I can see the
But the last
person.
10 years you were in Russia.
not only
in
Estonia,
Russia.
you're
in France,
and
Estonia, yes.
okay.
So many
okay. So you have
people.
some
You can
context.
still somehow feel that that's not that kind of person. But for example, I would never do something like that. Why do I need to steal somebody's script?
You'd be surprised the amount of bad people. that are out
No. There
I
are
understand, but
lots of bad people in the world, and it's a problem for me. But
Okay.
still, you need to learn how to see them.
Okay.
well, okay, for example,
But maybe
Leo
we are
doesn't need to steal anybody's idea because he has thousands of them. So he's just not that kind of person, and I know he would not do that.
Yeah, I would hope in the world that, by being good, you would attract more good and then you could filter out the bad. That's the best case scenario. So
Maybe.
because like say one really bad traumatic thing happens, right? And then you guys might be broken from that and then we'll change you as a person.
No.
We already
broke.
thought about that. Okay, the worst thing could happen is
Stolen.
Yeah,
they're
we-
gonna steal this script, but we still have 5 more to go, and we
Okay.
work.
And then you
on
would try and use it on them. That's very positive. You guys, where does this positivity come from? I thought people from like the Slavic part of the world are very pessimistic about life, or is it just the veneer outside only and inside you guys are very optimistic?
Well, I hope so in general, but sometimes, of course, we also have this down
Yeah.
mood, and like, nothing is gonna work out, and I don't have forces to do anything.
Okay.
I'm so tired.
But
It's-
actually, we have lots of nice people around us. Not like in person these days, but still we have good friends and.
If
all over the world now.
yeah. If that's if you're not too worried about that, why not just post a script online, share it, or then start, or even filming small bits of it to get.
Well, the one that is
attraction.
ready is already in the process,
It's
so
already in
we
the pipeline.
cannot do anything with it. Oh, we can.
Is that what
but-
they said? You signed something?
Oh,
Or
we go. I hope we're gonna sign soon.
But we don't
What's
know.
the time? What's the deadline?
January.
And you guys agreed on this? They said they'll sign it by January, or you're gonna follow up by January.
They said that it's signing now, and the finance is gonna come somewhere in
25.
beginning of the year. So it's
And this is from the U.S.,
Mhm.
LA.
Mhm.
Okay, so then you might be moving to LA then,
Ma-
if the project goes through, or
As I say, maybe.
It's a new word.
What language is this?
Our goal, like dreaming that if our film is shooting, we
Yeah.
will ask our guy, maybe we can do something on how do you say, on to help somehow with the shooting.
To be involved in
To be
the
involved in the
process.
whole process
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we are
yeah.
like that. I'm director.
We're
scriptwriter,
filmmakers as well.
She's a photographer. Maybe
It's
some
all
small.
all part of the production.
Yeah,
Makes
to be
sense.
to be part, not for money, just for our
Just to be
joy.
there, just to meet people, just to
Yeah.
spend time and to get some energy, because we always spend a lot of time without people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we really need some communication now.
Okay.
Even if it's LA.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Why? Is there any problems with LA? Or?
I have problems that I don't have driving license, and it's
It's a very heavy car.
you
car-driven
can't live away
culture.
without driving license.
Yes. I mean, ideally, what you would do is try to move as close as possible, live as cheaply as possible near to wherever you're filming. But I don't know, your story, does it take place many places? Can it be fully on studio?
We don't know yet.
You don't know. So many.
Let's figure it out later.
Our desirable place is Brooklyn, but it's far away from LA.
Yeah. Well, you go where the opportunity is, and then solve one problem at a time.
But the funniest thing is it just for fun and just to have something to wish for. We Google and YouTube the areas in New York. So we chose the area we probably want to live in Brooklyn, and we even know the park we were gonna walk.
Oh, wow.
The shop we're gonna shop,
And bike shop.
what bicycle we're gonna buy. So it's just it's not like it's far from obsession. So if it doesn't work out, it's okay.
Then you just go to Brooklyn.
Yeah. No, I mean, even if Brooklyn doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. It's just something to spend your time and to think about something real, because all the world around us seems very, very crazy and unreal right now, because it's crisis after crisis. It's COVID, crazy time for everybody, then the war, then
more
war in every country we want to go.
Yeah.
In Israel, and then in Sri Lanka as well, this crazy crisis.
Turmoil.
So
it seems that if anything that comes out of these experiences have made you very resilient. You guys probably could take whatever at this point. It could be slower, it could be faster, it could be big, it could be small, but I think you guys will be okay.
Anti-fragile.
About the
Anti-fragile,
book.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
I did a podcast with a friend who's very big on this concept from Black
really
Swan, Nassim Taleb.
I'm in process of reading. I was a big fan of the first book. About the process.
And so you guys are very anti-fragile built, I guess.
Trying to be.
That's the idea of the benefits of crisis, as I told you. So hopefully this crisis will give us a lot, but it already gave us a lot. In this past year, we really started doing so many new things, writing scripts, how it should look like, how it should sound, how to sell it, how to contact people, how to call, how to write messages, how to...
You're being entrepreneurial, basically.
How to... Much? Entrepreneurs. Yes. You guys are being very entrepreneurial about this. So it's all together. It all goes all together. You have to do all that by yourself.
You're trying to solve everything by yourself and trying to navigate the industry, especially coming from Russia, which is very unique.
And how to find a producer for in European country when you're from Russia, which is like also what?
Yeah. Sounds
and
like
everything sounds like it never gonna happen.
Well, that's also like just very European in general, right? So
no, but it also works in Europe. We also have some opportunities, and we hope to do another project there with my friends.
I see.
It just takes time.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully that one also will happen.
Yeah. No.
But then, you guys are? How would you categorize yourselves? More artists? You guys are artists first, right? That's how you see yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then, how have you been balancing this process of trying to step into the commercial world and tainting your art, and then?
I can't say that we're in commercial world, right?
No, but you cannot. It goes hand in hand.
You are in commercial. We are trying, but it's also very, how to say, painful point in when you're doing art, because it's difficult, and you know the whole history of writers and painters. They end up sometimes very
destitute their whole life, and only later afterwards.
So you shouldn't expect something wonderful. It can be miserable, but
miserable, devastated, lonely, cheap hotel room.
But I think the main point is that you already said that you should be optimistic, and when you break down, you need to stand up again and again. Okay, I'm not a producer, I'm not an entrepreneur, but I will try. I would try to write this letter. Okay, they say you're stupid. Okay, I write another letter.
You learn from it. But
we're trying to be like this, to stand up
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, and I call it as well beginner's mind. So if you start something new, you're always like, wow, let's learn how to do the sound for your own film. I never did that before because I don't have any finance. I just want to make a film and I never did the sound. Okay, I'll just do it myself now. Okay.
But I feel if you guys keep applying this process, this mentality, this method, you will find some form of success probably. It's just a question of size at that point, right? And so how do you think about that? Do you care how big it is or how small it is?
I think it's also your goal. Our goal is to have our freedom to do what we want to do. It's maybe you need just small success, but you
still can do what you want.
Yeah, because it depends on some money, depends on some property, but sometimes you need to do work for other guys. Like now I need to do some commercial stuff for customers, but when I have something, I can do what I want.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. I don't want to be Taylor Swift, but I want to have freedom. Yeah. And actually, the fact is that sometimes some very popular people are not free.
Yes, correct. They're constrained to what they've done.
So for us, the goal is to be free, to do
what you feel in the moment.
What you feel, yeah.
And even if you want to switch from one thing to another, okay.
Yeah. So I guess the last two topics you guys wanted to talk about was crisis as a possibility or thinking big. Anything about this you want to mention? Why did you want to talk about these, and what did you have in mind?
We already spoke a little bit about the crisis.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we did cover that.
So that's what's happening now is because of the crisis, we had to adapt, and it pushed us a lot. So we don't know what would be without this crisis, but probably this year when we started learning lots of new things, and maybe the crisis helped us with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
your life for the past few years have been defined by crisis.
As I said, as we already told you, that we had the studio and it was all going very well. So probably we just would have the financing for the next film.
You'd be doing more films within Russia.
Stuck there, maybe. And it's not a bad life. It's a great life.
It's a good life. Yeah.
It's a good life, but
you would have your freedom in a sense in your context.
But maybe we wouldn't start all that journey started now.
But if you have like 5 minutes, we're not like
no rush.
No. I would like to say that in Russia I already have this experience of huge crisis because in 1991 when Soviet Union collapsed,
it's so weird to hear that.
It was a bit the same, that everything changed dramatically. It was and my father, he was a very good physics scientist and worked like big projects, and then he started to be a translator. And it was a story of many people in Russia when you was like scientist, academic, but you are selling something on the streets and like breeding rabbits on your balcony. Yes, really.
Because it was nothing to eat.
Growing flowers for sale.
That's crazy.
It was crazy times. And from that crisis, I learned that you have several tactics. And sometimes you're feeling like to secure what you have and to do something to, to earn money, not to develop, but to earn money. But sometimes another strategy, another way is to, when you have this crisis, to try to benefit from this crisis and to do, maybe it's the last chance to do what you want to do. So I don't follow. No. I mean, it's a choice between these two.
Yeah, I mean, when you're faced with that, you still have to live. You have to make
choices. But I don't want to secure all. Maybe it's a good luck for us that we don't have anything, any property, any cars, and
free the constraints.
Yeah, and so we can do, like you said, from the scratch something new, something that you want to do, and not to trying to save to save money and to work anywhere or doing anything to earn money. So, and sometimes crisis is a good time for this, to try.
You forgot about, I wanted to say also about the, how is it, легкоходство.
About my small cabin size
Life, cabin size life.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was the idea that we don't buy any stuff because I don't want to have big luggage. But okay, maybe it's not so important.
It's tricky.
Well, because you guys are in transition. My life was like that for a few years when I was building companies in Southeast Asia. My boss can call me and said, "You're moving to a new city." And I have no choice. The next day, pack up and leave. And I've done that a few times.
And you left all behind.
Yeah, you sell really fast, or you come back later to sort it out. And
you work like this for years?
Yeah, for about 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, move to different city, build new project, hire new team, fire people. And it gets tiring after a while. So at some point, you want to make a choice where this is my community, this is my roots.
Yeah, of course.
At some point. But when you're in transition, when you're growing and learning, it's very exciting. You're on a journey. It also, I always felt this very hard, like I don't want to move. But then as soon as I was forced to, they put a gun to your head. Then as soon as you do, you're like, oh, this is really good, right? So it's exciting. And of course, the older you get, the harder it is, of course. Because you want to know your routines, you want to be productive. You can't always just be jumping and leaving all the time. Right? So, but I mean, like you said, it's by it's a forcing function. You are in crisis. You have to respond. You have to adapt. So you're just in that journey too. And I think, and whatever opportunity happens, whether it be in Europe, whether it be in LA, whatever, you kind of follow that path. You solve a hard problem, then more opportunities open up, then solve more problems, then you kind of get to where you are. So, yeah. Any closing thoughts on thinking big, or what did that?
Thinking big.
Yeah, what did that have to tie into your last topic?
We also spoke about that. I mean, if you have big dreams, if you think with big things, I believe that the more you want, the more is possible. So because you want to do more, you try to do more.
Yeah, if you want to be a millionaire, you aim for $1 billion. If you want to be a billionaire, you have to aim for trillions of dollars. So
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like this. And
because when I was very small, I really wanted a dog.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, I should choose some small dog so my parents won't argue with me that much. And then I finally had to...
Trading point.
I was trading with them.
Okay.
Yeah. And finally I got a rat.
Negotiating with them.
I was negotiating for a long time, and finally I managed to get a rat.
Okay.
Rat.
A rat.
A rat.
A dog.
And after that I thought, shit, I should have go for a dog.
A big dog.
You should say for a horse.
A horse.
Horse.
No, this dog, the dog, the name dog, собака, dog.
I don't know the name of the dogs. You mean this big one?
Siberian Husky.
Siberian
Great Dane.
Dog. I mean English.
Oh.
I don't know.
There is a breed
huge
called
British
dog.
Okay.
The name dog in Russian.
In Russian. Okay.
The huge, the biggest.
The biggest
dog
one. Should have
ever.
went for that one.
And I thought I should went for that one, so they would give me the small one. But I got the rat. Well, the good thing is I found out that rats are really, really smart, and it was amazing experience communicating with a rat who really can think, understand, and actually respond to the name. That was interesting. But also the experience was I need to want a huge dog to get a small one.
Okay. And that has stuck with you. Yeah. And I guess the last thing I'm kind of curious about, so defining your partnership. It sounds like you guys want to do a lot of things. But where's that coming from? And then who's the one who's more grounded to make things happen?
It's like synergy.
I think so.
Yeah, how does it work then? Or what are the roles? And how do you split your synergy? What are the roles and responsibilities?
We have a bit different kind of mind, and this mind helps us to be in different parts of the process. For example, I'm more like writing, coming up with some stuff person. And Anga is more about communicating, about reflecting the world. do it so brilliantly to make a photos. She looks at the world and she can reflect it and she can communicate with the world. And it is not my strong point. I have inner world and I come up with something from inside me.
Leo thinks out things and he creates his own world better.
Inside.
Yes. And I deal with reality.
And then you kind of put it together.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not so good in communicating and writing letters and
Not true.
But when we have our colleagues and working on script, it's my field and I can understand. No matter what English I have, we can understand each other very good if we are talking about our profession, about script, about the story, and like this.
Yeah. So in a sense, you kind of create worlds, and then you connect it to the real world and make it.
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. So, hopefully by next time we talk, you'll be somewhere else, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully working on an interesting project.
Yeah. Let's talk in a year or two.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where you guys are going to land up. Thank you for sharing your story and your perspectives. I think definitely some unique ones that you probably won't hear too often online, right? So, and then
last time I was on radio, maybe in Russia.
In Russia,
or maybe in Belarus, in Minsk. I don't remember.
I was in Russia.
And sometimes I went with TV or radio.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So then, and anything to close off? Anything else you wanted to add or finish?
We want to say thank you for invitation. It was so wonderful experience for us, and thank you. It's the conversation so interesting.
Yeah, it's been great getting to know you guys, and hopefully you guys get along your journey and have a lot of success. Maybe I'll come when I visit America. I'll come find you guys.
Yeah, see you there.
Or we come back to Kuala Lumpur
always welcome
because
back.
we really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to be here.
Perfect. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you too.
Okay.
Thank you.